Good morning and welcome back to the Daily Brief, your number one choice for expat news and updates. A German expat was arrested for assaulting dentists in Nakhon Ratchasima. Zelensky agrees to a partial ceasefire following a call with Trump. In our last story, the Philippine National Bureau of Investigation are actively investigating 20 vloggers for spreading misinformation online. Here's a look at today's local exchange rates for the Philippines, Thailand, Singapore, and Vietnam, followed by today's weather report. In our first story, a 41-year-old German national was taken into custody on Tuesday after being accused of attacking dentists at several clinics in Nakhon Ratchasima's Mueang district. The arrest came following a formal complaint from the Nakhon Ratchasima Dentist Club, which urged local police in Korat to locate and detain the suspect. The man, identified as Matthias, is married to a Thai woman and resides in Tambon Don Champu, Non Sung district. Reports indicate that the suspect had been targeting dental clinics in Mueang district since November of last year. He allegedly assaulted several dentists and sent them threatening messages via their Facebook pages, causing significant concern among local practitioners. In response to these incidents, officers from Johor Police Station secured an arrest warrant from the Nakhon Ratchasima Provincial Court. They tracked Matthias down and apprehended him in the parking lot of Klang Villa Shopping Mall on Suranarai Road around 5 p.m. Following his arrest, he was transported to Johor Police Station, where authorities worked alongside Nakhon Ratchasima Immigration Police and a German-language interpreter to proceed with legal formalities. Through the interpreter, the suspect confirmed his identity as the individual named in the arrest warrant. However, he declined to provide any statements to law enforcement, stating that he would only testify in court. A background check confirmed that Matthias holds a valid visa, renewed annually. Police plan to request court approval for his continued detention and have also submitted a formal request to the Nakhon Ratchasima Immigration Office to revoke his visa, citing concerns that he poses a danger to society. As part of the legal proceedings, immigration authorities will summon the affected dentists to provide testimony. Additionally, supporting evidence, including CCTV footage, will be reviewed to aid in the decision regarding the revocation of the suspect's visa. In our next story, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has agreed to a 30-day partial ceasefire with Russia, focusing on protecting energy and civilian infrastructure. This decision follows an hour-long phone conversation with U.S. President Donald Trump. Zelensky expressed hope that this move would be a step toward a more permanent peace, more than 3 years after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The ceasefire marks the most tangible outcome of Trump's efforts to end the conflict. It comes just a day after Trump engaged in discussions with Russian President Vladimir Putin in an attempt to broker peace and improve U.S.-Russia relations, which have been strained since the 2022 invasion. However, Ukraine's limited role in these negotiations has raised concerns. The ceasefire agreement hinges on whether Putin will honor his commitment to halt attacks on Ukrainian infrastructure, an agreement that falls short of the full ceasefire Trump initially sought. Following the call, Trump shared on Truth Social, "Just completed a very good telephone call with President Zelensky of Ukraine." Much of the discussion was based on the call made yesterday with President Putin to align both Russia and Ukraine in terms of their requests and needs. "We are very much on track." Zelensky echoed a hopeful sentiment on social media, stating, "We believe that together with America, with President Trump, and under American leadership, lasting peace can be achieved this year. One of the first steps toward fully ending the war could be ending strikes on energy and other civilian infrastructure. I supported this step, and Ukraine confirmed that we are ready to implement it." He also indicated that he hopes the ceasefire could expand over time. The conversation between Trump and Zelensky comes at a time when Ukraine has struggled to maintain strong backing from Washington. Trump recently referred to Zelensky as a dictator and suggested that Ukraine lacked bargaining power. Nevertheless, White House officials softened their stance toward Kyiv following the Wednesday call. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt announced that the U.S. would continue providing military and intelligence aid to Ukraine, despite previous Kremlin requests for a halt. Levitt also revealed that during the call, Zelensky requested additional air defense systems, particularly US-made Patriot systems, to which Trump agreed to explore available options, especially within Europe. Additionally, the two leaders discussed potential US involvement in managing Ukraine's nuclear power plants. Meanwhile, Ukraine and Russia conducted a prisoner swap on Wednesday, exchanging 175 detainees as part of the broader negotiations initiated the previous day. However, reports from Ukraine suggest that Russian airstrikes on energy infrastructure continued overnight despite Putin's pledge to Trump. U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff defended Putin, stating that the Russian leader had ordered a halt to the attacks within minutes of his conversation with Trump. According to Witkoff, any subsequent strikes may have been launched before the order was given or involved drones already in motion. Despite this claim, Ukrainian authorities reported multiple Russian attacks after the call. In Slavyansk, an airstrike damaged the city's electricity grid more than 2 hours after the Trump-Putin discussion ended. Authorities also reported widespread drone assaults, including hits on hospitals in Sumy and homes in Bucha, near Kyiv. In response, Ukraine launched a counterstrike, targeting an oil depot in Russia's Krasnodar region, causing a massive fire that required over 170 firefighters to contain. The Russian Defense Ministry criticized the attack, claiming it undermined peace initiatives. Ukrainian officials remain skeptical of Putin's commitment to the ceasefire. Presidential advisor Mikhailo Podolyak noted that within an hour of Putin's supposed order, Russian drones were already targeting Ukrainian infrastructure. After the announcement of an air truce, we didn't give our air defense crews a break, we simply watched the clock, Podolyak wrote on social media. Less than an hour after Putin supposedly agreed not to strike Ukraine's energy infrastructure, he attacked the energy infrastructure in eastern Ukraine. As negotiations continue, the question remains whether the ceasefire will hold and if this development will lead to lasting peace in Ukraine. In our last story, the National Bureau of Investigation, NBI, is currently monitoring approximately 20 vloggers suspected of disseminating false information online. As of Monday, the agency confirmed that arrest warrants have been issued for 2 individuals in connection with these activities. NBI Director Jamie Santiago stated that the vloggers could face charges of cyber libel and inciting to sedition. Among those under investigation is a vlogger based in the United States who remains under surveillance. Some believe they can say anything under the guise of freedom of speech and expression, but those rights are not unlimited, Santiago explained. When actions cross legal boundaries and become criminal offenses, authorities must intervene. Meanwhile, members of the House of Representatives have voiced their concerns over the rampant spread of fake news, particularly after the International Criminal Court, ICC, issued an arrest warrant for former President Rodrigo Duterte. La Union Representative Paulo Ortega V. called the rise of misinformation not just disturbing but a national embarrassment and a global shame. He pointed to false claims made by Duterte's former executive secretary, Salvador Medialdia, who alleged that Duterte had gone missing and was not receiving medical attention from the ICC. Fact-checking organization Verifiles has documented a surge in pro-Duterte disinformation on platforms like Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Lani Odell Sir Representative Zia Alanto Adiong also denounced the spread of false reports suggesting the Supreme Court had received a petition for President Marcos's resignation. This is a clear attempt to mislead the public and cause unnecessary turmoil, Adiong said. He praised the Supreme Court for swiftly dismissing the fabricated claims and pledged full support for efforts to hold those responsible accountable. The Department of Information and Communications Technology, DICT, is working with the NBI to track the sources of fake news. DICT Undersecretary Jeffrey Ian Dye revealed that he met with NBI Director Santiago to discuss potential countermeasures. While the DICT does not have law enforcement powers, we do have digital tools to monitor internet activity, Dye said in a radio interview. Officials from the National Telecommunications Commission also participated in the discussions. Moving forward, the initiative will expand to include other government agencies that can assist in identifying content creators and analyzing the role of social media platforms in spreading misinformation. Dye also emphasized the need for accountability from social media companies, noting that their monetization structures, particularly on platforms like YouTube and Meta, often incentivize the spread of fake news. Criminal Investigation and Detection Group, CIDG, Director Major General Nicholas Torrey, has stated that he will not be taking legal action against individuals spreading false information about him and other police officials. It comes with the territory. No problem, we can handle it, Torrey remarked. Tory led the Philippine National Police contingent in enforcing the ICC's arrest warrant against Duterte on March 12. He also disclosed that deputized anti-crime investigators are now being retrained to analyze the financial activities of troll farms. We are closely scrutinizing the operations of troll farms, not just in relation to elections but also in governance matters. Their influence has become increasingly significant, particularly in the wake of recent controversial incidents, Tory said. Thanks for watching the Daily Brief. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on future updates. As always, take care and we will see you on the next update.